Once upon a time, in a small village nestled among rolling hills and lush greenery, there lived a girl named Sara. She was 16, with long chestnut hair that fell like silk across her shoulders and eyes as bright as the morning sky. Yet despite her beauty and intelligence, Sara was known throughout the village for one defining trait: her laziness. While other girls her age helped their families with chores, tended gardens, fetched water from the village well, or ran along the countryside paths chasing butterflies, Sara preferred to lie under the old oak tree in her backyard, letting the world pass her by. She would stretch lazily in the grass, feeling the warm sun on her face, and watch the clouds drift across the sky, imagining herself in faraway lands where she was free from work or responsibility. Her parents, hardworking and humble, ran the village bakery. Every morning, her father kneaded dough for bread, while her mother decorated sweet pastries with meticulous care. They often scolded Sara for idleness. "Sara, why don't you help your mother with the bread today?" her father would ask, worry lining his face. "The garden won't tend itself," her mother would sigh, hands on her hips. But Sara would only smile lazily, shrug her shoulders, and reply, "I'll do it later," knowing very well she never would. Even the villagers noticed her laziness. Children ran past her on the dirt paths, laughing and playing games in the fields, while Sara remained sprawled under her oak tree, content in her daydreams. She didn't mean to be selfish, she simply felt that effort was exhausting, and the world could wait. But beneath her indolence, Sara possessed a sharp mind and a vivid imagination. She noticed small things others overlooked: the way the wind shifted through the grass, the patterns of light through leaves, the quiet beauty in a spider's web. Her heart, though idle, longed for something extraordinary. She just didn't yet know what. One sunny morning, as Sara lay on the grass, eyes fixed on the sky, a commotion erupted from the village square. Curious but reluctant to move, she finally pushed herself up and strolled toward the sound. The sight before her was astonishing. A traveling circus had arrived, with striped tents in vibrant red, yellow, and blue. Flags fluttered in the wind, and the smell of caramel popcorn and roasted nuts filled the air. Acrobats flipped through the air, jugglers tossed pins with astonishing precision, and clowns pranced about, evoking laughter from children and adults alike. Sara's eyes widened, heart racing with an unfamiliar thrill. The world outside her backyard, which had always seemed so dull and slow, suddenly appeared magical and alive. But what captivated her most wasn't the clowns or jugglers, it was a dancer. The dancer moved with such grace that she seemed to float, spinning and leaping across the stage with effortless beauty. Her costume shimmered in the sunlight, and ribbons trailed behind her like streams of color. Sara felt as if her heart were dancing along with every step. As the show ended, she approached the dancer timidly, awe shining in her eyes. How do you move like that?" she asked softly. The dancer smiled warmly. "It takes years of practice and dedication. Talent is important, but perseverance and hard work are what make a dancer truly shine. Anyone can dream, but only those who commit to effort can achieve their dreams." Sara listened intently, feeling a spark deep inside her. For the first time, she realized that effort could create magic, that hard work could transform a person. She wanted that magic, for herself. That evening, Sara begged her parents to let her join dance classes. "I want to learn. Please. I'll work hard this time, I promise." Her parents exchanged cautious glances. Sara had made promises before, only to abandon them after a day or two. But they saw genuine determination in her eyes, a spark they hadn't seen before. "Very well," her mother said, a hint of hope in her voice. "We will give you a chance. But remember, hard work is not optional." The next morning, Sara put on her first dance uniform and stepped into the modest studio, the polished wooden floor gleaming under the sunlight streaming through tall windows. But reality struck almost immediately. Dancing was far more difficult than it appeared. Her muscles ached, she struggled with balance, and even the simplest steps seemed impossible. After an exhausting morning of pirouettes and leaps, she collapsed onto the floor, frustrated. "I can't do this," she exclaimed. Miss Alara, the teacher, knelt beside her, placing a gentle hand on Sara's shoulder. "The first step is always the hardest," she said. "Progress isn't about talent, it's about persistence. One day, you'll look back and marvel at how far you've come. Keep going." Sara nodded, determination flickering in her chest. She was ready to try. At first, progress was slow. Sara stumbled constantly, often losing her balance mid-spin or forgetting steps. She grumbled and complained, longing to return to her lazy days under the oak tree. But slowly, with encouragement from Miss Alara and reminders of the dancer she had seen at the circus, she began to improve. She discovered that the discipline required in dance was not just about physical movement, it was about focus, patience, and emotional strength. With each practice session, she pushed herself a little further, mastering a new step or perfecting a routine. She began to notice small victories, the smooth turn of a pirouette, the rhythm in her leap, the applause of fellow students. She also began forming friendships at the academy. Other students encouraged her, praised her successes, and helped her when she struggled. These bonds taught her about teamwork, empathy, and the joy of shared achievement, lessons she had never learned while lazing in her backyard. But old habits died hard. Sometimes she procrastinated with chores at home, skipped lessons to nap, or avoided studying. Her parents grew frustrated, yet Sara, aware of her flaws, worked harder to maintain balance. The journey to change was never smooth, but it was always forward. Months later, the village hosted a spring festival, inviting Sara's dance academy to perform. Excitement mixed with fear in her heart. She stood backstage, adjusting her flowing costume, listening to the murmur of the crowd. When the music began, Sara stepped onto the stage and let herself move. Each pirouette, leap, and graceful gesture told a story, not just of dance, but of her own transformation. She remembered the lazy girl under the oak tree and felt the contrast with who she had become. The villagers, who had long labeled her lazy, watched in awe as Sara's movements captivated their hearts. By the final bow, the crowd erupted into applause. Tears sprang to her parents' eyes. "We are so proud of you," her father whispered. "You've shown what dedication can achieve." For Sara, it wasn't just applause, it was proof that change was possible, that effort could transform a person entirely. Sara realized that dancing had taught her more than movement. It had taught her responsibility, self-discipline, and resilience. She began applying the lessons she had learned to every aspect of her life, schoolwork, household chores, and relationships with others. She faced setbacks, of course. Some days she was tired, or her old habits tempted her. But she had learned to persevere, to treat each failure as a lesson rather than a defeat. Her transformation was slow, layered, and deeply rewarding. Soon, Sara began mentoring younger children, teaching them not just steps, but the importance of perseverance and hard work. She shared her story of transformation, showing them that even the laziest heart could be awakened by passion and purpose. Years passed. Sara became a celebrated dancer, performing in nearby towns and earning admiration wherever she went. Yet, she never forgot her village, her family, or the oak tree where she had once dreamed idly. Her parents watched her with pride, marveling at the girl who had once refused to lift a hand, now thriving in skill, discipline, and confidence. Sara often reflected on that day the circus came to town, the day her life changed forever. She had learned that the limits we perceive are often self-imposed, and that courage, dedication, and passion could overcome any obstacle. Sara had transformed not just in skill, but in heart, mind, and spirit. From a lazy girl dreaming under an oak tree, she became a beacon of hope, inspiration, and proof that effort and perseverance could make magic real. And so, the girl who had once lounged all day learned that the world rewards those who strive, who persevere, and who refuse to be defined by laziness. Sara embraced every challenge, knowing that the only limits in life were those she placed upon herself. Her story became legend in the village. A tale told to children, reminding them that with determination, passion, and hard work, anyone could achieve greatness. Sara's journey from idle daydreamer to star dancer was complete, a shining testament to the power of perseverance. Don't forget to subscribe our channel.